Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I was going to talk about this and then upload it last night, but decided just get a good night of sleep instead, so I'm going to talk about it here now. I want to talk about the Kentucky football team. I guess it's going to be kind of a rant-ish video, but I really want to talk about this because I shouldn't be this frustrated over this team. But when you expect better than 6 wins, 7 win seasons, it's really hard to not be frustrated. And it starts with Mark Stoops. It starts with Mark Stoops, man. Just awful. His win breakdown overall, 72-64 versus teams above 500. 18-52, which is a 25 win percentage, top 25 teams. We get all these wins against these fucking FCS schools, but we can't go up here and beat these top teams. I expect more from Kentucky football now. But I think Mark Stoops has reached his ceiling. Power 5, 12-45 record versus teams with 9+ wins, 6-31, 16.2% versus teams with 10 wins, 2-21, 8.7% versus teams 500. 4-3, 57.1%, and the Power 5, 2-3 versus teams below 500. He is 40-9, a 81.6 win percentage. Power 5, 26-7 versus FCS. He is 10-0 with a 100 win percentage. You look at all these teams above 500 versus teams at 500. He's about 50% over the teams at 500. He beats all these teams below 500, and then he fooled all of us. Those 2 wins against 10+ teams was 2018 at Florida, 10-3, and 2021 Citrus Bowl versus Iowa, 10-4. He deserves the criticism. Just awful with Mark Stoops. Like, this guy freaking stinks. But he told the caller he was wrong when he pointed out nothing more misleading than calling him the all-time win leader at UK. Give me enough years and I can beat enough scrubs to be the all-time wins leader. Like, he beats all these scrubs and people thought he was the best coach Kentucky's ever had. He knows how, the team knows how to pick on the little guys like the FCS schools and win. But when they play these top teams, Mark Stoops and David's coordinator don't have them fucking ready to play. Just unacceptable. But the football team got what they wanted from Barnhart the last 2 years. Calipari had facilities getting laughed at by recruits. How do they respond? Stoops got worse and Cal keeps signing high and 5 stars and on the verge of his second go-around. I feel like anyone should be able to recruit Kentucky basketball without having to upgrade their facilities, but Kentucky should also have the best basketball facilities in college. But it's just terrible with Mark Stoops and Kentucky football. They play with no discipline. Like, Kentucky only has one red zone stop versus ACC opponents. Just awful, and this just is unacceptable. Like, we are first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th in the ACC East. 6th after we talked about we could be on top near Georgia. We're staying near the bottom. It can't be acceptable by the Kentucky AD or us fans. And people say, "Oh, Kentucky's never going to football. We just expect to be better." With that logic, you might as well just cancel the freaking program. It's just a disaster right now. Just a disaster. The only ACC East team Kentucky's beaten twice the last 2 years is freaking Florida. Oh, but people will be like, "Oh, don't worry, we just landed the best offensive lineman in our 2024 recruiting class. Help him on the way." Yeah, he's a 3-star and ranked as a 650 best recruit in the country. I know it's not about just ratings, but he decommitted because Ohio State had 3 other guys in position rate higher than him in that class. Just ridiculous. It's just awful. And also, after going 10-3 2018, they said, "Oh, our next step was to, get to Georgia." Like, oh, we're going to get to Georgia. After that, 2019, 8-5, 2020, 5-6, 2021, 10-3 again, 2022, 7-6, 6-5, currently, could be 6-6 after lose to Louisville. Not only has UK failed to beat Georgia, they are 18-24 in the ACC during that time. This is steps back instead of going forward. I know I probably shouldn't be reading about this, but it's hard not to when you want your team to win and be able to compete after you start 5-0 and people are hyping up. Oh, they could contend to be at the top of the ACC East. Instead, we're at the freaking bottom. Like, it's unacceptable. And I hate to compare coaches here. Hate bringing up when Calipari had 3 years of underperformance, fans rightfully called for major change and accountability. He then brought a #1 class, 2 coaches, and modernized the offense. He completely moderned the offense. And Stoops is approaching 3 years of underperformance in the last 4 years. What's next? And look, I don't really like bringing up coach to criticize other time, but Cal did show in this instance in a willingness to adjust and adapt to the current game of basketball. Stoops has to show that willingness. And I can't say it any better than that. This is the exact way people have to look at our football program. You gotta be willing to change with the games that it changes. The basketball games change, Calipari's willed to adjust. Because we've shot a lot more threes this year in the past than we have before. And I know, what I think should happen, maybe no coordinators, position coaches, up the recruiting budget, change schematically on both sides of the ball, get better in-game adjustments or something like that. Liam's not the problem. White's defense is routinely torched against good teams plus 2-minute drills. And U of L's a top 10 team in our state. Like, in state with little talent. Louisville is in our state a freaking top 10 team. I don't want to hear that excuse. I mean, our buyout's too big. I don't think he's going anywhere. His one great year is because we had an NFL caliber QB and wide receiver deal with the top 10 on the line. You take Levis out, we were a 6-win team at best. I mean, simple as that. And he's paid $9 million, the 8th highest salary in the country. The UK Athletic Department has invested over $165 million put into the damn football program. The boosters have stepped up and are donating like never before. The resources are there. The results are just simply not. And I'm not saying that Kentucky's NIL is anywhere comparable to the top of the SEC for Kentucky. It's as high as it's ever been. $9 million a year for what? I mean, $9 million for 6 freaking wins a year. We've reached our ceiling with Mark Stoops. We have to get a new coach. I'm sorry. If this was Calipari in basketball underperforming, people would be calling for him to be fired. Much of Stoops' success has been owed to beating Florida, South Carolina, Missouri, Mississippi State relatively consistently. Next season, the SEC divisions go away. He won't be relying on an ACC East plus worst SEC West team schedule. I mean, how can he want to look at next year's schedule and even be somewhat confident? I'm tired of Kentucky being mediocre at football. I know they're not a freaking football school, but come on, you can't be as consistently mid or bad year after year. You've got to bring in new additions to coaching staff like Calipari did. As for the first time since 2013, we've lost both to Missouri and South Carolina. Mizzou took a program that was below Kentucky to a top 10 team in 2 years. Louisville took a program that was below Kentucky to a top 10 team in 1 year. South Carolina, they beat Kentucky 2 straight years. Tennessee, Georgia continued on Kentucky. You know where I'm getting at. Here. Our teams are able to recruit and succeed. Kentucky should be able to do that as well. If Louisville can do it, we can. We're in the same freaking state. And next year's schedule looks tough. If we have $9 million in the budget to pay for a coach, could we get better than this product? I mean, just glad this football season's almost over. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch the Louisville game, to be honest, because we're probably going to get blown out. I'm just ready for tomorrow. I've been really excited during this basketball season so far, so I'm glad football season's over, almost. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch the last game, to be honest, just more focused on Kentucky basketball right now, but I had to talk about this rant because I wanted to get out. I'm tired of holding in about Kentucky football. And it got even worse with just last night with Leary not playing well. He didn't play well at all. The offensive line wildly inconsistent. Dane Key, the fumble he had. Leary's interception inside the 10-yard line last night when the Wildcats were driving. Ray Davis only getting 12 carries. And then all the drama, with the parents tweeting, Dane Key's father, Ray Davis's father. Just a lot of drama after the game last night. Forgot what, and 2015 Mark Stoops has no longer to accept it is no longer acceptable for us to accept mediocrity. And the reaction to the South Carolina loss shows the fan base, we're not accepting mediocrity. In the last 2 seasons, they've shown utter arrogance, entitlement, lack of discipline, poor execution on the field. They have to get back to that blue collar, underdog mentality, appreciation, fundamentals. If things continue to regress even more, it's time to have a real conversation about Mark Stoops. Stoops is safe as long as the mediocre Mitch is in charge, so yeah. And the parents were even pissed. I think even the parents, fans, media, parents, former players, and now current players, Ray Davis tweeted after the game, it is what it is. Thought it was a cowbell. He should have got more than 12 carries, but whatever. And from the parents of Kentucky star players, one of the best running backs in the country with 12 carries is crazy. From Ray Davis' father, Dane Key's father said this is fucking awful. I mean, Dane Key did fumble the football. He kind of was part of the problem. He kind of fumbled the game away right there. But just, I had to get that off my chest. So yeah, and that's really all to say for this video. So until next time, peace, and I'll be back with a NFL Week 11 recap for all the other games today. So until next time, I'm out. Peace. Fuck Mark Stoops. Fuck Kentucky football. Thank God it's basketball season.